Well, welcome back to the homestead. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm the Frugal Gardener. I garden on my homestead is on 4.5 acres in the hills of West Virginia. And I am, to say I'm excited is an understatement. I have been talking to you guys on YouTube for the past 10 years. My 10th anniversary was a couple of months ago of posting videos about how to save money. And my garden, the title of my site is actually Gardening on a Budget. And people are starting to notice. People are starting to pay attention. The prices are ridiculous and they aren't going down. And so there's so much that I wanted to cover. I make notes nowadays. Getting up there. I'm a senior citizen. And so I'm trying to not forget to tell you guys certain things. So what's going to most likely happen is what I don't get to in this video, it's going to spill over into the third video, which is hence the reasons why I have this trash bag and these hangers, which I'll explain to you in the third video. What I have decided to do is not make this a series. Instead, this is a segment. Well, first segment is the poor man's vegetable garden. So it's basically how you can grow vegetables with little to no money. If you missed the first segment, I'll put a link down below so that you can catch up with everybody else. And the second segment that I'm going to do along with that one is what you may not know. It's titled Things That You May Not Have Known. So this is where I just give you information about stuff in the gardening world or in the food world that you guys might find useful that you didn't know about before. So I'm going to get started right now, and somewhere in between here, I'm going to show you what I harvested from here the other day. But just to kick things off, this is, well, let's go back to the first video. I talked about planting these guys. This, I'm going to plant. This, I'm just showing you how sweet potatoes do sprout. You're going to get slips off of this, which some people would say just plant the whole thing, let the slips grow, and take them off. I'm just showing you this as a reminder to the first video, but this bad boy here is definitely going to get planted. So there's that. Now, ginger. I'm trying to show how easy it is and how inexpensive it is. You might say ginger is not inexpensive, especially if you're purchasing it organic. The thing is, I just decided to bring this up and show you guys because I planted this and I watered it. That's it. I don't grow a lot of ginger because it takes a long time. It takes between 7 and 9 months. But if you drink ginger tea, if you use ginger for whatever reason, this is by far, in my opinion, one of the easiest things to grow because, like I said, I put it in this pot. I probably could have used a little bigger pot. I put it in here. It took off, and I'll just count the days until, or should I say months, until it's time to harvest that ginger. So back to the poor man's garden. This is obviously peas. The reason why I'm showing you this is because this little bucket, this little container, I needed something with some depth in it. This is about 12 inches. These are, like I said, obviously peas. That's why it's up here. I'm going to go into that in a minute. But 98 cents, Walmart. No, I'm not plugging Walmart. You can go to the dollar store. You can go wherever you can get your stuff from. But 98 cents is what it will cost you. Now, of course, one of these is not going to be sufficient. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 peas that I planted in here. So you probably need about 3 of these, 4 of these. So you're talking about $4. If you're talking about 98 cents a piece, then that's $4. You have yourself some peas. Boom. You're good to go. Now, one of the things that I also wanted to talk to you guys about is misconceptions. Some people are concerned because I hear this all the time. I hear this from people that I taught how to garden, people in my family that I taught how to garden. And that is, they don't garden in the fall. They don't garden in the winter because they say it's too cold, the ground is hard, you got snow, you got ice. That's not accurate, to be polite. The solstice is 120 days from now. And for those of you who don't know, I have it etched in my mind. It's the first day of winter, December 21st. So you have 120 days before it becomes wintertime. So that's the first thing that I want to bring to your attention. If you plant something, not even today, if you plant something on September the 1st, if you plant cabbage or, collard greens or whatever, carrots don't even take 3 months. You can grow carrots in 2 months. There's 61 days between now and the first frost in 7A where I am. 61 days before the first frost, 120 days before the solstice, and I have this turned around for a reason, because I have a surprise I'm going to show you guys towards the end of the Poor Man's Vegetable Garden segment. So that's, to me, if you think about, say, Halloween, and yes, I did look this up. Last Halloween, the average daytime temperature was 52. No, it was 53. The first day of winter was also 53. It didn't sound very cold to me. People automatically think, when you say winter, they think, freezing cold, January, 5 degrees, scraping ice off the cars and so forth. That's not winter. You're basically gardening in the fall. So 61 days before the first frost, 120 days for the solstice. There is no reason why you still can't plant things, even if you go as far as, say, October 1st. Just think back to Halloween. Most people don't even wear coats on Halloween. So October the 1st, if you plant something and it takes 3 months, October, November, December, so you'll be harvesting around January the 1st. If the solstice is the 21st, then basically, how many days are we talking? We're talking only 10 days into winter. You're not talking about being out there in the freezing cold. 10 days into winter. So that's something that I want you guys to think about. So let's get back to the Poor Man's Garden. One of the things that I wanted to show you guys, I showed you the containers. This is one. There's another one, around here somewhere. It's similar to this, but it's smaller, and that's $1.98. So $1.98 for the wider, shorter ones, and 98 cents for these guys. But in a minute, I'm going to show you how you can create a container, or containers plural, for free. But before I do that, there's one other thing I wanted to share with you guys, especially if you are really, really, really on a tight budget, and that is seed sharing. You can go in with a friend or two friends and split a pack of seeds. This is for $1. That's gone. That's pretty much, that's going away. Now, they're 3 for $1.50. See if I can get that there. 3 for $1.50. So if you have 3 people, you and 2 other people that want to garden, and you are like broke, or just don't want to spend the money, then the 3 of you can share a pack of seeds. So you get, say, a pack of well, we're going into the fall now, but let's say you were to get a pack of peas and a pack of, I don't know, green beans and a pack of something else, then you're basically paying $1.50 total for each of you. In other words, $1.50 each. You all have 3 different seeds that you can plant in your garden, which, come on, I mean, you can probably find that in your seat cushions or on your couch. So that is definitely something that you would want to look into if you're trying to save money. Now, I have something really special to share with you guys, that if you are in the right position, you won't have to pay any money to get your seeds. But before I do that, and before I talk to you about the scarlet runner beans, let's show what I harvested a couple days ago. Well, it's time to harvest some lemon cucumbers and also some scarlet runner beans. These beans, I expected a lot more, but it's kind of a trade-off, because when I brought the birds in, I'm assuming it's the birds that's been eating the flowers. So you can see there's maybe a half a dozen beans on here that I'm going to harvest, and I'm going to dry them out so I don't have to buy seeds next year. And also I'm going to harvest some mint. So here's the harvest. This is apparently attracting the bees now. So this is what I got. I know I said I was also going to harvest some mint, but I miscalculated because I didn't think I was going to get this much of the lemon cucumbers. So I'll get the mint, and also this dinosaur kale. I'll pick up some of that on the next go round. But this is what I got so far. This is the second go round for harvest here. And although you see tomatoes growing here, here's more lemon cucumbers growing here, and there's several of them still coming up, still producing. So I'm real happy with that. So I told you guys at the end of this segment, I would show you something special, that the word is starting to get out. This has been, I guess, maybe about 2 years now, maybe longer. And that is, if you are eligible, if you are on SNAP, what they call food stamps, this right here can be a game changer if you're on SNAP, because you can use your SNAP benefits to buy seeds. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are starting to find out about it. I was surprised that it's controversial, because when I went back to make sure that it was still the case, when I went back and Googled it, I found out that there's some people that are upset over it. And that doesn't make sense to me. If people are on food stamps or SNAP benefits, receiving benefits, I would prefer that they plant and grow their own food, as opposed to just going to the supermarket buying it, for obvious reasons. I mean, there's a lot of chemicals. It's expensive. There's always been controversy about people buying, steaks and lobster and shrimp and so forth, when you can take this, and not only can you buy seeds, you can also buy edible plants. So you have to check. I know Amazon does it. There's certain stores that I'm told that aren't set up for it, but for the most part, that is something that you can do where you don't have to worry about buying seeds for the buddy or the cost of seeds, because you get them included, and you're going to get a much bigger return on purchasing seeds than you will from just buying stuff outright at the store. So that is the end of my poor man's vegetable garden feature, but that bleeds into my things you may not know, because this is also falls into that category, things you may not know. So that's number one on my list. And Number two is something that I kind of stumbled across a while ago, and now it is something that's growing. Um, I'm going to back up for a minute because I also wanted to throw in this, and that are these are the scarlet runner beans that I planted. These are the scarlet runner beans that I harvested. So you see, what I'm basically going to do, I didn't get enough to make a pot of beans because the birds or something, the deer, the birds, something got to these, and it's not a big deal. I'm not upset over it because now I'm going to take these, or you can see this is where I harvested them from. I'm going to take these, I'm going to let them dry out in a cool, dark place, and then I'm going to harvest those beans, and this is what I'm going to end up with. So instead of buying these again, which are kind of pricey, I'll just use these and it won't cost me anything. The last thing I wanted to show you guys, I promised and almost forgot, and that is, this is a big, big deal for me. A lot of people don't realize you can garden using boxes. You don't have to buy bins, you don't have to buy containers, you don't have to buy planters, you don't have to buy any of that stuff. Boxes are free, last time I checked. Stick with me in this series. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to plant something in all three of these. As a matter of fact, I actually have more than three. Now, what I did, you can use these as is, just turn the flaps inside. I reinforced these. Why? Because cardboard is free. So I just took another box and I cut up the cardboard and I added it inside here. So you can see here and in here, it's double walled. This way I'll have extra protection. If you by some chance leave this out in the rain or you overwater it, then you're still protected. So 1, 2, 3. There is more that I haven't shown you. I will show you going forward. So getting back to things you may not know. There is something going on, and it's not being talked about very much. People are being pretty quiet about it. But the seeds are disappearing. What I mean by that is, you probably know about seedless watermelons, seedless grapes, but it's really getting to the point where there are not going to be any more seeds. Now, you got conspiracy theorists out there. I mean, think what you want. I'm not here for that. The point is, 80% of grapes that are sold to the public, I'm not talking about the grapes that are used for wine. 80% of the grapes are now seedless. Watermelons, seedless. You have a lot of fruit that's seedless. But here's the thing. Here's what you may not know. And that is, they're about to take the pits. They are working right now on how to take the pits out of certain fruits and certain vegetables. They are already taking the tops off of pineapples. I read what people are thinking, saying that they're taking the tops off the pineapples so that people can't grow pineapples at home. And the defense is that they're taking the tops off because it helps them to weigh less and they're easier to ship. So depending upon where you fall down on that side of the debate, that's still a thing. Lemons, limes, navel oranges. These are all things in the near future that you will see that will not have seeds. On top of that, they are working on pitless avocados and stoneless cherries. So your cherries won't have pits anymore, avocados won't, and that's something that I'm a little bit concerned about, because that means if you aren't able to get seeds from your normal source, then what are you going to do? So here's something else that you may not know. Well, you do know that I have an issue with chipmunks and voles and rodents, and this is how I solve that. These are sugar baby watermelons. One here, and in here is a cucumber. So you can see what I did. These are inexpensive. You'll hear me say Walmart a lot. I mean, Walmart doesn't, I don't make a dime off of Walmart, but the reason why I am mentioning that is because, again, for you guys who've been following me throughout the years, you know I live in a rural area. For me to go to the store, it's not like a 5 or 10 minute drive. So I purchased a lot of stuff and have it delivered. These are the bags that I use for the small things I want covered. This is folded in half. These are for the larger ones. So this is going to save you some disappointment, because once these are covered, then it's been my experience that the critters move on to something that's more easy pickings instead of something that they have to actually work to get into. Now, that doesn't hold true for the good old raccoon. Oh my goodness, we have a couple of them now. There was just one, now there's several. Raccoon, we'll get into that with no problem. I'm thinking about putting these clips over top of it for a little extra protection. That means they would actually have to work for it. So that's something that you might want to think about. So now I'm going to kind of wrap this up, because like I said, it's going kind of long. I don't like to keep you guys, but the last thing that I want to talk to you about is the chemicals in your water. I discussed this, I guess maybe 2 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. And there is a website that you can go to, and it will tell you what chemicals are in the water in your area. So I'm going to link that below. You can see I just added some nutrients here, and this was something that I just transferred over here. But to finish my point, I'm going to put that link in there, because this way you can see not just what's in your spigot water, your tap water, possibly your drinking water. This is more than likely what you're using on your plants. So that's something you might want to consider also. So I'll add that link. And next week, I'm going to show you guys what I am planting in these 3 boxes. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. My last video, which was the first one in this, I don't want to say series, because like I said, you know, these are segments. I'm over 2,200 views, which is rare for me. But at any rate, thank you, and I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week with the continuing version of what I am working on now. I still have lots of information to give you guys. More containers, more free stuff, more ways you can save money, more ways you can feed your family for less. I'm the Frugal Gardener. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the flip side. And don't forget, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. See you guys in a couple days.